Yo, 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 yo. What's good? What's good? Hope everybody's doing well. Drink your water. Doing a quick little show before we go to work. Dreamer. You're nothing but a dreamer. Once again, shout out to all my dreamers. And before we get started, send a little shout out to the sponsor. You want to do any podcasts like what you're watching, music videos, photo shoots, call the number on the bottom of the screen 707 Fitboxer. Make sure you go and you follow all of our socials as well. Follow me at KYNGARRALPH. Wow, I don't even know how to spell my own name. At King Ralph on all platforms, at an underscore for Twitter. J.U.K Media. Subscribe there on YouTube, the He Say She Say channel. On Facebook, make sure you go like that. Follow us at J.U.K Sports Show on Instagram. And we got a lot to get into today. Trade deadline came and went. Nothing too crazy happened, but there were some good trades that actually are gonna move the needle, you could say. So there was a bunch that happened. I couldn't narrow it down to 5, so I'm gonna do 6, and then I'm gonna give my Super Bowl breakdown and picks. So off rip, trade deadline, Mavs made some key moves. They have some of my favorites. I don't have this in any particular order. So one of my favorites, Daniel Gafford, being traded from the Wizards to the Mavs. Also, Mavs pick swap 2028 first round with OKC. Wizards get the second worst pick of the first round from OKC, Houston, Clippers, and Utah, but they also get Richaun Holmes. I think with the Mavs, the issue that the Mavs have always had was defense. And getting a Daniel Gafford who played for the Bulls, so I've watched a lot of him play, high energy, rim protector, hard screen and roller. Has to get to the point where he can get a mid-range to a three-point game to really be what they were exactly looking for. But given another trade that they had, I think he's going to be more of a bench. He's going to be part of the bench mob. And so I'm going to give this trade for the Mavs. I'm going to give it a B just because I think with Lively, PJ, and Daniel Gafford being your 4s and 5s, I think that it's going to pay dividends in the long run when it comes to rim protection, spacing the floor, and the action on the floor with not just sitting there watching Luka play basketball 1-on-1, 1-on-5. With the Wizards, obviously they are in a rebuild. Jordan Poole is not what we thought it would be. Kyle Kuzma is not what we thought it would be. Although Kuz, I think, is could be a third option on a championship team. Wizards are obviously in a rebuild, blowing the team up, trading away people that were contributors on previous teams to now you're just trying to get draft capital. Maybe they can do something like what the Thunder did a few years ago, and now look at the Thunder now. So we'll see. Next up, 76ers trade Cam Payne in a 2027 second round pick to the Bucks for Patrick Beverley. I've watched Cameron Payne over the years, and I think that he's a good role player. I don't think that he'll have the same impact that Patrick Beverley does. So I think that the Bucks actually won this trade, given the leadership, defensive prowess that Patrick Beverley has, the voice that he is, holding people accountable. I think the Bucks are gonna be better suited and better off in the long run than the 76ers are when it comes to this particular trade. I think Joel Embiid and Cameron Payne and Tobias and some of the guys, like I think that it fits offensively, but I do think that they will have some issues defensively with the loss of a Patrick Beverly. So I'm gonna give this 76ers, they get like a C plus. I think this is a B plus for the Bucks. Next up, Mavs make another trade. They get PJ Washington and 2 second-round picks. Hornets get Grant Williams, Seth Curry, 2027 first-round pick is top 2 protected. This is one of those ones where I think Grant Williams is going to be there long term unless he decides, because he just signed a deal. So depending on the details of that contract, he'll be there the duration of the contract, and we'll see if they'll be able to build a team around that. I do think Miles, Melo, Brandon, and Grant can actually be a good young core to build a team around. It's just whether or not can it affect winning basketball. And that's the thing for me with Seth. I think Seth's in a moment, or at least in a point in his career, where I don't expect him to be there long. I would expect a buyout and for him to go to a team that needs some shooting, trying to make a playoff push. So for the Hornets, with the Grant Williams pick, hopefully they'll be able to keep that 2027 first round. I think what they need on that team, I think Grant gives them toughness, veteran presence, someone who's actually going to play hard and try, has played in meaningful basketball games. So for that, I'm going to give them about a B minus. I think the Mavs got exactly what they needed. They wanted a 4 that can stretch the floor, played good defense, long defender. So for them getting exactly what they social media posted or the report of what they were looking for in the trade deadline, they got exactly what they're looking. So I'm going to give them an A. Next up, the Pacers and 76ers complete a trade. Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, and 3 second-round picks in a swap for 76ers are getting Buddy Hield. And this is one that I'm like, you know what? That's a really good trade. You get back a healthy Joel Embiid and then pair him with Maxey, who's an all-star, Buddy Hield, who's a sharpshooter, catch and shoot, being able to score 20, 25, 30 any given night. He get hot and his bombs away. And so I think with Marcus Morris, it's more of like the Pacers getting some more toughness, some more defense. Korkmaz wanted out of there. And so he's getting what he wants. Now we'll see how. I'm not someone that I don't truly believe that he moves the needle. The reason why this trade is even on my list is because the 76ers getting, Buddy Hield, who you have you have a good balance of defense and offense already on that lineup. Now adding Buddy Hield, you get some more shooting, which is in a Nick Nurse offense is vital. And then also pair him with Joel Embiid, who is so dominant. You're going to get double teams, so people are going to be open. So you need people that are going to be able to knock down wide open jumpers. So for the Sixers, I'm gonna give them a B plus on this one. Pacers get a C plus. I think the picks and rotational players, but they just still haven't got anybody that they're in the long run for them to be able to have success. You have Tyrese Halliburton. You need someone of that caliber to be able to come to Indiana and at least be a Robin to his Batman. And so next up, we got the Thunder. Hornets get a bevy of picks. I think, given what I've already talked about with the Grant Williams trade, getting Trey Mann, Davis Bertans, I hope I'm saying this right, Vasilic, Micic. Yeah, I hope I said that right. Sorry if I butchered your name, bro. No disrespect. Respectfully, of course. And so Thunder getting a Gordon Hayward who can go for 20, 25 any night, create his own shot, veteran presence, played in meaningful basketball games with a young team with a Jalen Williams, Chet, SGA. They have a squad now that you can put up against anybody, and they have an opportunity to go win a championship. As long as Gordon Hayward can stay healthy, which has always been his issue since he got that big contract in Boston. So I'm curious to see what happens here. But I do think that the Hornets, Trey Mann is a really good pickup. Pairing him with Melo, if you can keep him. I've heard trade talks with that. Brandon Miller, Grant Williams. If they can keep Miles Bridges, we'll see what happens there. And then Trey Mann, as long as they can keep a 5, and I think that their 5 that they have right now, I believe, is Marcus Williams, is a legit 10 and 10, at least double every night, rim protector, big body, someone that they can have for the future. And so I think that the future is bright for the Hornets as long as they can all get on the same page and actually play good offense and defense. Like, their shot selection is porous. Their defense effort on defense is awful. I see the play a couple days ago. Brandon Miller makes a layup, a euro in the lane, and why is he the only one that got back on defense? And he's the last person to get back, but he's also the first person to get back on defense on the fast break. And he's turning around yelling at everybody like, yo, get the fuck back. Like, what are we doing here? So getting Grant Williams, Trey Mann, some other veteran pieces, I think in the long run, I think that the Hornets can be a playoff team. They have enough talent. It's just whether or not they want to win and want to play defense. You got to play defense in this league. It's the only way you can win. You got to get stops. Can't just outshoot everybody. And next up, I think this is the one I have it more on my list, and why it was a tie for 5th. My 5th spot and why I went with 6 is not more so because of what the Pistons got, but it's more so because of what the Knicks got. Getting Alec Burks back, Bojan Bogdan, veteran, big body, good defender, shooter on the court, space the floor. Alec Burks goes back to New York, familiar with the landscape. Now you pair him with a Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, White Dante, I call him, playing great basketball. I think pairing them all together, now making a run. Now, whether or not Kenny Smith on Inside the NBA made a good point. He said on any given night, the Nets or the Knicks do not have the best 2 players on the court. And this is one of those things where hopefully you can have a deeper team, which will take you further rather than having the best 3 players on the court at any given time. And so also with depth, we all have heard about, what's my man's name? The coach of the Knicks, I forget his name. I don't know why it's drawing blank right now, but he plays them a lot of minutes. And so having a deeper team, your guards are going to play a lot of minutes. Especially going into the playoffs, you should look to see them getting about anywhere from 40, 45 minutes a game, especially your stars or your best players on the team. So It never hurt having more depth on that squad. And so that wraps up my trade deadline. I think those are some really good ones. I don't think there was anything. There wasn't no superstars that got moved, no Kuzmas, no DeJounte Murray. Bulls, once again, don't make any trades after the Zach LaVine injury. I think that's really what would have – I feel like he would have been traded had he been healthy. But I read the report from the president of basketball operations. He's got one of them names that I'm not going to sit up here and try to butcher. But he went on to say the reason why for 3 years in a row, no trade deadline moves have been made. This one in particular, it would have pushed us back to where we wouldn't have even been. It would have set us back to make a long story short. I feel like right now Kobe has been playing very good basketball. We've seen Drummond come in and play very well alongside Vooch. And so DeRozan, getting rid of a DeRozan for you're probably going to get pennies on the dollar, not even get something of actual trade value worth having for the future. I think it's best to stay pat. Things have been going well with Lonzo and his rehab. He looks better. No knee pain. You've seen him shooting in the gym. Hopefully he can come back healthy at the beginning of next season. And now that Kobe has been playing very well, I told people Kobe just needed some opportunity last year, and then now this year is paying dividends. It's actually kind of funny. A few of my most improved player picks or people that I said were going to do moves didn't play that well last year, and now they're balling out this year. And so, like I said, the Magic were going to be an issue for people last year. Now look at them now. I said Kobe White last year was going to be an issue for people, but he never really got the opportunity until Zach LaVine got injured for a long period of time. So I am cool with them staying where they're at. I think that they will need to make a trade in the offseason, take a look at where they're at, what direction they want to go in. The emergence of Kobe. We got to see what Pat gives us when he comes back, because I think he's in a contract year as well, or if not 1 year away, where we can at least player or team option him, and then see what we can do and what direction to go in as far as trading DeRozan or Zach. But I'm cool with where we are. I'm kind of disappointed, but with no Lonzo, I knew this is what it is. And so that wraps up the trade deadline. I'm going to give a quick little breakdown of the Super Bowl and my Super Bowl picks. Of the Super Bowl picks. And so that is, it's funny because I had one of my customers at work kind of bring up something to me the other day, and he's asking me like how I feel about the Super Bowl. And I'm like, the breakdown analysis and football guy in me says 49ers are the better team. I feel like they're deeper. They have more talent, more playmakers all over the field, on both sides of the ball at all levels. So the 49ers should win the game. But it's just something about the Chiefs, the coaching and all of that gives it this they just have this, they just get it done. And it doesn't really matter who they go up against, how they look. Once they get to the playoffs, they just flip this switch, and now they're a whole new football team. All year they've been dropping passes, no drop passes in the playoffs. They don't shoot themselves in the foot. They barely ever get penalties. That keeps the other team on the field. And so I think this game is going to come down to Spags on the defensive end, and can he create pressures? Because we've seen Brock Purdy in college and in the games where he didn't have his super friends, have games where he just is throwing the ball to the other team. And even against the Ravens, he threw the ball to the other team. Now, there were some tip passes and things of that such, to which is why it got so bad. But he can be susceptible to turning over the football, which is something that in the Super Bowl we saw last year. Eagles were rolling. Jalen Hurts fumbles the ball uncharacteristically, and then it just from there was an uphill battle, which they were never able to kind of make it right and get out in front of the Chiefs. And so I think being able to Chris Jones being able to impact the game. Hopefully they get some. I'm not sure if Gay is going to be back, their middle linebacker. But Spags blitzes a lot. He's known for to be a blitzer, and I think that is going to be the key to this football game. I don't think it's necessarily going to be 49ers defense versus the Chiefs offense. I think the key to the football game is going to be the 49ers offense versus the Chiefs defense, which has been a top 5 defense all year. They've actually rode this season. They rode the back of the defense to get to this point. And so that is my key. In the end, I'm going to go Chiefs, although I genuinely believe the 49ers are a better team. I think all of the Taylor Swift hoopla and all of that, I think the Chiefs are going to be able to ride that defense, the wave that they have, momentum, swag, confidence, and all of that to a victory. I hate to say it. I'm a Raiders fan, so I hate the Chiefs. But Chiefs are going to get the victory in all of this. I look forward to the Super Bowl. And so that wraps up the show. Thank you all for watching. I got to head to work. And like I always do, love, peace, and the